Back again with another program to show. Today, we're going back to the one that I showed off about 6 months ago. This was Sokoban no Shinobi. So, back then, I had some ideas of what I was going to do for updates. I made a couple more levels, so not quite a level pack, really, but I have sort of a start screen. It's not great, but it's there. Better than what it was, which was nothing. Um, Not having to use the command line for input. Check. I did that. You still have to have it open, and it still prints like errors and stuff, so it's useful to have open, but you don't need to use it for input anymore. Resizable windows, check. Better graphics. No, they're pretty good. Movement animations, did not do that. Restart, undo, did not do that. Level editor, check. Par, haven't done that. Uh, and then these two were kind of, I remember making the description. I was kind of just typing things, and I was like, I'm gonna just add things to this list. It's the craziest thing that I can think of. Put it on there. So like par and challenges, that's probably pretty easy. Restart, undo. Even though I haven't done it, it's probably not that difficult. I'm trying to think of how I would go about it. I'm thinking I might end up having to do it like just remember the board at every moment. Seems kind of inefficient, but not really sure how. I mean, I guess I could make some system of tracking the changes and then just sort of you can undo whatever changed. Because really, the most change that can happen is the player moves to a new spot and a box moves to a new spot. So if you just remember where the player moved, and then if the player moved into a box where the box moved, you can undo that pretty simply. So I guess there's the start to that. I'll still be working on this, of course, because it's fun. Because I have a lot of fun doing this, and I don't have anything else to do with my time. So there you go. I mean, I guess I'll have once school starts up again, I'll have plenty to do with my time. But if I have any time left over, this is probably something that I'll be doing quite a bit. Um, and the animations I really don't think are going to be that possible. I feel like I'm already kind of stretching the use of not Swift, swing a little bit thin for this. I mean, just this is the board, and it's like this just doesn't feel right. I don't know, something about the way that you have to go about coding. Like, I mean, key adapters, that's fine, but like I have this render tile, and then I have this to draw the board, and like it just feels like maybe I should consider using a different Java library, like Luajuggle, lightweight Java game library, because I feel like this is more for seems better built for like making tools and stuff than for games. Is just the impression that I get working with it and making a game with it is that I feel like I'm not doing the right thing. um, but all right, so you can see here are the levels. Got some new levels, and there's another feature that wasn't in the list that I decided to work on. Um, Surprise feature. So anyway, you can see I deleted all of the compiled stuff, so I'm gonna have to recompile it. I've apparently pasted it twice. Wait, have I pasted it twice? I don't think I have. I think I'm being tricked. Um, yeah, what's going on here? There we go. Look at all that. So board becomes board, floor tile becomes floor tile, graphics frame gets itself And then this, I believe, is for the. Okay, yeah, this is what's listening to component resized. And this is also listening to component resized? That's weird. Let's see, the graphics panel. No, the graphics frame is what we should be looking at. Has this component listener. Oh, and this component. Okay, so that makes sense. They're both doing the exact same thing. I should really just make this a separate class and then just have them both reference it, but this is more fun. Anyway, so we also have this mouse listener and then the key adapter that I made. And you can see my key adapter is a separate class with a proper name, and that's why it's got a proper name. $1 is just this right here. Actually, specifically this is just that's what's been put in here. It's pretty cool that you can see the decompiled class files. Something fun, I guess. Let's close out of those. Still using my Java command gen.py. You can see, actually, I think the last time I ran that was, yeah, pretty long ago. But that's where I got the Javac from. And then we can run Sokoban no Shinobi. And that is going to just, look at that beauty. So that's the start screen, clearly. And if I just generate something random, we can, wow, there are very few boxes here. We can just play this as we would a normal game of Shinobi Warrior. Boop. Let's do that. You can see it in full screen. Shinobi Warrior. Why did I say that? Doesn't make any sense. I don't want to go up. Would you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Probably didn't even need to do that, to be honest. There's probably like an infinite number of ways that I could solve that, but boom! Already a dub on the board. I didn't mean to do that. And so we can make a lot of random, and you can see it's variable height, variable width. It's between 8 and 12. I think that's the same as last time. It's kind of fun just to hold down the random key and just watch. Okay, that's probably not good for the viewers, but it's fun to watch the way that the board generates, especially because you can see how like the edges never have any boxes. It's just kind of interesting. Not really that interesting. If you hit escape, it opens up the level picker dialog. So previously, this was just, give me the location of the file in the command prompt. Now it actually properly opens. It should default to the levels folder. If you have some weird, like if you download the stuff and you don't keep the structure of the folders the same that I distributed them in, it won't be able to find the levels folder. The levels folder should be inside the compiled game folder, right next to Sokoban no Shinobi.class. They should be in the same, like, folder. So, if it can't find the levels folder, it'll just pick a random one on your computer. I think it's the documents folder is what it defaults to. Don't know why it does that, but it does. So that's nice. And then you can go, say, like, I don't know, barriers. Or actually, I'm going to hold off on barriers. Let's play horrible level.txt. Isn't that great? So it tells you what move logic you're using. I'll get to that in a second. And yeah, I mean, you just win by default because there aren't any boxes here. Let's play an actual level. Run around. This is, oh, this is actually a hard one. Why did I pick this one? I shouldn't have done that. Okay. So I have to move, right, you can see the cursor, yeah. I have to move this guy out of the way, because then this one I have to move either up or down. I think I want to move it down, because I'm thinking this guy can go there, this one can go to the corner. This guy can go here, or maybe this guy goes here, and then these three can go into these. But The funny thing is that I made this, so I should really know how to do it just off the, just because I made this. Um, but I don't. And we can't move this guy diagonally is the most annoying thing. Um, yeah, I really don't. Why am I actually? I have no idea what to do right now. Oh, no, maybe, perhaps. Um, well, okay, because how can I move this guy? I can move this guy like if I go over, up, and then over. Then it'd be out of the way. I could push him down, and then I can move this guy up, and then I can move. Well, if I move that guy up, I would want this guy to be over there. But then if I'm moving that guy over there, I should move this guy over here first. If I'm moving that guy there, then it might get in the way of these. Although I don't think it will. I don't think that's an issue. But I should really just try to break this up. So yeah, I don't think this is going to really demonstrate. Well, I guess you can see the new GUI setup. And yeah, I mean, it is a little annoying that the screen has a tendency to just have all this black space next to it. But I really don't know what I would even put there. Like, game's only so big, right? That might have been a mistake, actually. No, I think that was a good play. Or not a good play per se, but decent. That was a bad play. I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna move that down now, just so I don't screw myself over even harder. What am I doing? Okay, wait. Okay, I might have clutched up. Let's see. No, I've ruined everything. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. Move this guy here, and then watch this. I'm gonna do some diagonal action. Please work. Genius. And that's how you beat run around. Spoilers. I should have said that at the start. Now let's look at um let's look at something that uses a different move logic. Let's look at barriers.txt. Barriers, well, both of these are boring, honestly. Because, okay, I specifically designed these to not. I'm pretty sure this is just. No, that's not the solution. Okay. Um, that's not the solution either. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Really. Okay. Apparently, I actually made a good level. Thought I didn't. There we go. Okay. That took a little bit of thinking. Not very much. Because barriers uses the barriers move logic, which I explained these in the readme, as I can clearly say. Explain these in the readme. I'm gonna just load this. I'm gonna load this one actually, because this one I think is a lot more concise of an example. It also fills up more of the screen, so that's nice. Um, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move right onto this box. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. It's the only thing that I have to do. I'm gonna win immediately. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna move right, then I'm gonna move right, then I'm gonna move down. Now, if the player does anything invalid in any of the move logics that I've made, it's just immediately gonna cancel the move. And that's gonna happen no matter what. So the player has to make a valid path. But box in the classic, I call it standard move logic, the box also has to just make a valid path. If the box does anything invalid, cancels the move. Barriers is different because what barriers does is it says, okay, the player moves and it has to be valid. The box is going to try to follow the player's path, but if it does anything invalid, it's just going to kind of ignore that step. And then if it lands somewhere invalid, it's going to go backward through the sequence of movements that it made until it gets to somewhere where it can land. So what's going to happen is I'm going to move right, right, down. That's a valid sequence, great. The box is now going to move right, right. Well, it can't move down because it's going to go out of bounds if it moves down. So instead of moving down, it just doesn't. So now the box is moved right, right, but that's its second move, and this is a one move limit tile. So it can't move twice and land on the tile. So what it's gonna do is it went right, right, didn't go down, so it just went right, right. Can't land here, so it's gonna back up a step and try to land here. And now that will actually count as its third step. So you might be like, oh, is that its first step? Because it like did one, two, didn't do three, and then it kind of undid two. That's actually going to count as its third step. So think of it as like the distance rather than the displacement. So, it moved one, two, three because it moved forward and then back. So if I do this, what's going to happen is I move onto the box moves one, two, can't go down, can't land here, moves back through the sequence, and it lands on the tile and I win. Three is less than or equal to three, so it's fine to land here with three moves. Great. Okay. Now we can go, let's go somewhere else. Just thought of something that might be a bug. If you find any bugs, contact me, AugustineM399 at gmail.com. Always open for anything. If you want to submit a level to be included, go ahead. If you've got, I was about to say if you have money, but I don't even have like a Patreon or anything, so you wouldn't even be able to give it to me. Um, yeah, or if you have like a suggestion, pop it in there. If you have, just anything related to this game, it can be related to any of my videos. You just want to reach out to me, AugustineM399 at gmail.com, always open, because it's not like you can really close Gmail inboxes. Well, I guess you can. You could like delete your account, whatever. Let's go to another level that will showcase another different move logic. So this is the infinite staircase is what I called it. It's actually very much a finite staircase, but I digress. So simple barriers is a little bit different than barriers. It's a little bit more simple, you could say. And that's why I called it simple barriers. So what you want to do here is you want to get you'll notice there's this 20 up here, so that's the max steps. If it lands on here, it better not have taken more than 20 steps to get there, otherwise it's not going to be happy. So what has to happen, or what you want to do, what I would think to do is get the box as close to the goal as possible. Should be our first step, and then move it there in less than 20 moves is our second step. Or 20 moves or less, I should say. Less than or equal to 20 moves. So I'm going to do a little, I don't know, suplex action. That's what I imagine him doing. It's kind of like taking it and like over his back or something. I don't know. So I'm going to go down, right, up. Now what the box is going to do is it's going to go down, right, up. This is just a normal, that isn't anything new, right? And then I'm going to get underneath the box. Now watch this. I'm going to move up. The box is going to try to move up, and it's not going to be able to because it's the edge of the world. It's the out of bounds. It would bad. Bad. You cannot move up from here. You're at the top already. You can't move up. So it doesn't. Then the box is like, wait a second. I'm going to land on a player. If I land on a player, the move's invalid. I don't want to make the move invalid. So I'm going to follow the move sequence in reverse. But rather than doing what it did for barriers, which was say, I'm going to follow just the path that I took in reverse, it's going to say, I'm going to look at these instructions down here and follow them exactly in reverse. So even though it didn't move up, it was still told to move up. So it's going to do the opposite and move down instead, which is kind of weird. Like I pushed it up and then it didn't move up and then move down because it moved up, but like it didn't. Don't think about it too much clearly. Just it's more of like a logical thing than necessarily something that would make sense physically. Um, but yeah, so basically what happened is I pushed the box, or I moved up, landed here. The box tried to move up, couldn't. Then it was like, okay, I can't land here because that would be on a player, and the box can't be on a player. So I'm going to just follow the exact instructions that the player used to move. So the player moved up. I'm going to follow that exactly, but going the opposite way. The opposite way. So instead of going up, the box is going to go down, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm just going to push it down, get in the corner, and then I'm just going to move in the corner. Now, what we want to do is we want to move to the right and down into the black as much as possible, and to the left and up into the red as much as possible. So that's pretty obvious how we do that to start. You know, move into the black as much as possible to the right and down. Right, down, right, down. And so even though that's moving the player, the box is going to move in the exact same way for now. So that's just how I was moving my cursor, starting from where the box is, right, down, right, down. That was bad. Right, down, right, down. There we go. So now I don't want to go back up, but I can't move right and down anymore from where the player is because the player just landed here. And the only righter more, downer more position that I can get to is all the way over here. And there's nothing particularly useful that I can do from there. Because if I hit the box, it's just going to go into the corner, and then it's just going to be in the corner. Like, that's not helpful. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the corner. But then the box is going to want to move in the same way the player moved. So the box is just going to go, if I don't do this in an intelligent way. So I went right down, right down. I'm here now. If I go up, left, well, from the player's position, the player went right, down, up, left, up, left. So the player went over to the box and then went back into the corner. But the box is also just going to move and then move back. Although actually the box isn't going to move at all because I'm not hitting it. But clearly that's not what we want to do anyway. So what we actually want to do, as I hinted at earlier, was move into the red as much as possible. So in order to move into the red, what we can do is start by going left. Left, left. So now the player is going to be here after I do this. The box isn't actually going to move. But if the box were to move in the same way the player did, it would go left, not actually go left because it hit the through wall and it can't go through the through wall because that's what through walls do. And it would get rejected both times. Then up, up, and then it would also get rejected on one of the ups. So it's going to end up here, which is pretty good. We moved 3 tiles with 8 movements. That's not great, but it's better than moving 0 tiles with 8 movements. And the main movement phase is actually the one that's coming up. But now we're above a black square, and to our right, to the right of where the box is going to end up, is a red square. So I'm actually going to want to go down to start, and then go right, down, right. And that should get us to this square. And then once again, I'm going to want to cancel as much of the left and up movements as possible. So up, up are both just going to get canceled into this red square. Then left, left. One of them is going to get canceled, one of them isn't. We're going to end up here. Now, to finish the sequence, all I have to do is move right and down. Now, the problem with this is that I don't actually end up hitting the box if I do this sequence, because what the player would do is go right, down, left, up, down, right, up, left, right, down. That's not where the box is. The player's just going to end up in the middle of this little 3x3 up here. So what we have to do is we have to append an extra right, down, right, whichever order you want to do it in. It actually doesn't matter in this case. And technically, as long as you start with a right or do a right and then a down at some point, it doesn't actually matter what order you do these last ones in. I'm just going to go down right because I can. What that's going to do is it's going to say, okay, right, down, left, up, down, up, left, right, down, and then down into the edge of the world, right into the edge of the world. It's going to cancel both of those steps, but it is going to increment the step counter. So that's why this has to be 20 and not 18. Even though it made it there on the 18th step and then didn't end up moving on the next steps, still counts. So it has to be 20. If I hit enter, boom, I win. I described exactly how I, did that. Theoretically, if you wanted to, and this is why I called this level Infinite Staircase, even though the staircase is actually not even that big, is because theoretically speaking, you can make this chain of black steps. Kind of looks like a staircase shape. I hope you can see that the way that I see it. But, you know, you can make this sort of like red border, black staircase shape as long as you want. And as long as you increase the maximum number of steps, you're golden. You can make it, again, infinitely long. As long as the maximum is infinity, then you'd be able to make it, theoretically. Of course, if you actually made it infinitely long, Java would give you a lot of headache because I based this tile setup on arrays and they max at the integer limit, like 2 billion elements. So if you try to make it infinitely many elements long, that's not going to work. But if you make it 2 billion elements long, you could, and you would make it. Um, Although I think the max steps would have to be greater than the maximum allowed value by a lot. So you just have to make it unlimited. So there's a challenge for you. Make a 2 billion by 2 billion infinite staircase and see how many moves you need to beat it. Actually, don't do that. I don't think it's gonna. I think my code would break down if you do something ridiculously large like that. And you won't be able to see it anyway, because like they're only. I don't know how tall your monitor is, but mine I think is it's like QHD. So even with this, 2 billion not going to be able to display. At even doing 1 pixel for every square, which, how much information can you get from a single pixel? It wouldn't even work at that scale. It would be like a millionth of the board would be visible, or not even a millionth squared of the board would be visible. Less than that, actually. So don't do that, is what I'm saying. Although I do plan on implementing a camera system where if you have a particularly large level, you can like zoom in and pan instead of just not being able to see anything. I don't expect anybody to make levels that are that big, but teach their own. Let's play a level editor test. So this is the first level that I made in the level editor. It's a very simple level just because I was testing the level editor, make sure that saving and stuff worked. Yeah, great. There's a standard move logic. I moved right down, the box moved right down. Box didn't land here, so it didn't check. And then it landed here, but it took 2 steps. The max was 2 steps, so we're good. If you tried to do it through this red one, it wouldn't work. Great. It's really all I can show because I think I've showed actually all of the new levels. Because movement, well, I mean, I might have not had movement released with the original video. I might not have released those at the same time, although I feel like I would have. And then here's, yeah, sample data struct that came out. I showed this, I showed this, I showed this, showed this. Even though this one used the standard anyway, so showed this, showed this, showed this. Yeah, great. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to show actually in here, but I do have another main file to show. So main file, I don't think, oh look, file operation canceled, it knows. And I guess I can also show what happens if you open something that you aren't supposed to. So this is, I'm playing a Minecraft world, and it's called Adventures in Java Land because it's in Minecraft Java. I usually play Minecraft Bedrock. This is my actually, well, not my first time playing Java, but it's my first time in a long time playing Java. And it is so much harder. I don't know if it's just me and not being used to the keyboard and stuff, but I feel like I die way more in Minecraft Java than in Minecraft Bedrock. And I swear, the skeletons, they do not stop shooting. Like, you can be hitting them, like, ba, 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 and they're just gonna keep shooting at you. It's ridiculous. It was actually insane. Just trying to get iron for the first time. We win this giant. Anyway, so this file has just a bunch of coordinates in it. It's like home base, XYZ, and then cave base, XYZ, one diamond, XYZ, like abandoned mine shaft, wherever, slime chunk. So it's obviously not going to have level data in it, and you can see I'm looking for files, txt file containing level data. This is not that. Open, file formatted improperly. And then let's try to find, well, okay, I can say all files and then try to open something that, like, yeah, and it's also just going to say it's in improper formatting. So, yeah, error handling, check. I think if I go out, I mean, that's all I really need to show in this program. So I can go out. Yeah, you can see it printed out, the errors that it experienced. So here was probably reading one of the lines, and it was like, what? There's nothing in this line. I'm guessing is what happened here. And then no data could be loaded is just because it wasn't the right file type. So yeah, that's that. Error handling is good. You'll have to see it. Um, and then okay, we have Java. This is the folder that my files are in, but this is the level editor. So that's gonna be all new content. This has never been shown before. This is something that you've never seen. So you can see right now we have just, empty title, empty author, 3x3 by default. We can change the move logic. We can put a player down. If I move the player, you can see like it changes where the player is. I think that's pretty cool. But then you can also just replace the player and the player disappears. You can use the mouse cursor to click on tiles, but you can also, if you just plug in the numbers here, you can see it reacts when I hit enter. I don't know if you can hear me hitting enter. I'm trying to hit it loudly so you can hear it, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'm gonna do this, and then here's something fun. If I hit play, please place, or no, just place the player in a valid position on the board. And then if I put the player in a spot, and I try to hit play, select a valid move logic. And the same thing happens if I try to save, place the player, select a valid move logic. So again, error handling, you'll love to see it. Let's do, I don't know, simple barriers or something, and then let's, I don't know, make this a box destination. And let's give this a lovely little title. Let's call it, I don't know, Horrible Level 2. Author will be me, because I'm making it. Width 3, height 3. I'll show that off. I mean, it's more of a. I feel like the code is more impressive than the feature, honestly. Like, I mean, okay, I guess here. Yeah, wow, isn't that great? And you can click over here, and if you click over there and you change the width, it moves it. And actually, if I move the player here and I change the width, it moves the player as well. Isn't that something? And the box destinations, oh, shouldn't have done that. If you delete content, like it just disappears. So the box destination doesn't actually hide. You can't see it when it's under a player, but it's still there. You can check by just here's the check. And then yeah, I don't know, you can make this a through like, I don't know. Say like through, well, I guess it doesn't even matter if it's through or not, but I'll say like 3. And now what that's gonna do when I play it, oh wow, look, it's playing, isn't that great? If I try to do like over and into it like that, I win because yeah, because 3 is actually, yeah, great. Now that happens. I don't even know how my own game works. Lovely. Wait, why does that happen? Right. Oh, because I went right first. Right up, and then the box is gonna try to go right, it can't. Try to go up, it can't. Then it's gonna go in reverse through the sequence. It's gonna try to go down. It can't because that's its third move. It went right, up, down. It didn't actually go right or up or down, but that was the third move it tried to do. This is simple barriers, so it's based on moves that it tried to do and not moves that it actually was able to. So what I move right up, box moves right, can't move right, up, can't move up. Then it tries going down, can't go down, goes left instead. Boom. I do know how my own game works. And then this is, I demonstrated this previously. I move up into the box can't move up, then it tries moving down, and it can. And then I can just push it from the side and get into the destination. Great. If I do it like this, that should also work, yeah. Well, it's honestly kind of more fun if it's like that. Great. I mean, I don't know. This was supposed to be a horrible level, but there's a little bit of strategy. Not very much. Again, I feel like it's gonna be kind of hard to make like, and this is not my problem, right? Because I'm not making any levels for this. I've already made a couple of ideas, and I'm just maybe if I get bored, I'll make some more levels. But really, I'm more interested in making the game than I am in making the levels, because I like programming on the game side of things. The level editor is nice, but I honestly, I'm more interested in the programming, right? So I want to make more features, want to make more game, and then I would kind of want to let the community make the levels. I feel like people are gonna pick this up, and the people who pick this up, I feel like are gonna be better at playing it than I am, and they're gonna make things that I would have never thought of. That's my prediction. If this game gains traction, somebody's gonna go absolutely nuts with it. But anyway, if you want to save it, you just hit, I was about to hit load. Yeah, that'd be a good place. Save. Now I want to have a name for the file. I'm going to call it horriblelevel2.txt. And watch this. Did not put .txt at the end. But I can still hit save. Isn't that nice? And if I go to load, you'll see horriblelevel2.txt is shown up. And I mean, it doesn't look like anything happened when I loaded it because I already had the level in here. But if I load a different level, you can even put my name on this one. Great. And then I load this one. You can see it's able to read from the file and I'm able to play it and stuff. And if I go all the way out and I rerun the main game and load the file from here, it's horrible level 2. You can see here it is. Great. There's horrible level 2. Lovely. Yeah, and it worked. That was the level that I made, and that's the level as it showed up, and that's great, and that's lovely, and we all love my game. Alright, and then I guess might as well show off what does the level editor actually save. So if I look, this is the level that I just made. And you can see it's in this format that it was in previously. Oh, it doesn't put noughts before the one in the single digits in the date. That's unfortunate. Noughts. It doesn't put zeros before them. I prefer that because it makes it look better. I feel like it makes it look better. That's just me, I guess. It doesn't even have any. I don't know why I find that so funny. It's just nothing. But anyway, so yes, it has at title, at horrible level 2. That's the title that I put in. At author, at the name. At date, which is just set to the current day's date. You can see it's 1 a.m. on Sunday, January 5th. At move logic is just whatever move logic you're using. So yeah, in this case, I chose simple barriers. Width, comma, height, empty, not destination, not through, -1 for no limit. See, most of these have no limit. Here's the box. Here's the goal. And you can tell it's through with a limit of 1 because it ends in T1. Here's the player. And that's great. That's lovely. And yeah, you can see like in this one, none of them have limits. None of them are through. None of them are goals. Here's the player. That's all. Or we can go to like infinite staircase and it's like, whoa, what's going on here? This was not made with the level editor, I should say. I made this by typing these in by hand, which is also a way to make levels, but it's just going to be so much worse than the level editor at this point. But yeah, you can see here's the player, here's the box, no limits on any of the tiles with the -1. These are through walls. The things that are getting highlighted now are through walls. These are like black walls, so the box is allowed to travel through them. And then this is the destination, and it's got a max of 20 moves. So yeah, you can see how the file format works if you want to do stuff by hand. I really don't know why you would because the level editor works and it's good, but if you're so inclined. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all I really need to show with respect to the features. Oh, I guess one more thing that I kind of didn't really talk about. So, yeah, last time I made a video about this, the at data didn't actually do anything. It was just like if we go in here, you can see the code that's actually responsible for loading the board. And if we go to ignore comments and at data, and what it used to do is it would just say if it's not a slash. So slashes are for comments. I would hope that the code would just ignore it by default. Um, and it's not an at. Then actually add it to the code. And then everything else just got completely ignored. So, if it hit this condition early, then it would skip the entire line. And then if it hit either of these were false, so it was either a slash or it was an at, it would just not do anything. But you can see I have here the at title is being documented in title. At author, or I guess at author at is being documented in auth. And then our move logics down here, which I might want to make into like a uh, switch statement. It might be more clean if I do it that way, cleaner, so to speak. But I'm not going to. Then if it loads it properly, we give you then the static properties of Sokoban no Shinobi of title and author get set. And then here's for invalid move logic. If it has a valid one, it'll just return that. That's useful for when it displays like using blank move logic at the bottom of the screen. That's what this is for. I'm realizing that there's a lot of places that I have to update in order to update move logic. Like if I wanted to make another one, I would have to add another condition here. I would have to change this number. Um, what else would I have to do? I don't think I have to do anything else in here, but then like in the level editor frame, I would have to add a whole lot actually. So the new J combo box uh that I defined over here. I would have to add another item to this. I would have to change something, I think, down here for valid move. No, I specifically made valid move logic not care about if it's greater. I think I made it only if it's 0 is the one that you have selected because the 0th item in this array is set move logic, which means that you haven't set your move logic yet. That's just like the placeholder text. And then what I would also have to change. No, I don't have to change any of these. That's fine. And yeah, you can see where it's using title and author from. Where it's using from, I don't think that's grammatically correct, but I don't care. What else we have? I would also have to, okay, and then obviously I would have to fix this to use the new move logic that I made, because this is where the move logic is actually performed. And then I would also have to change this to make another message. Let's see if I can find the spot where I print the message. Actually, wait, it would be down here, right? Yeah, here it would. So I'd have to make another case in this switch statement. So what I should really do, what would be best, programmatically speaking, would be to make some sort of extra class that's just like move logic base. I don't know, the home of move logic, and then move player, move the various move logic. The actual logic part of it would be in the board, but then stuff like the strings and actually it might even be best to put it in the board. But stuff like what string to display could just be like board dot get string or get move logic string for the given move logic, and then that's all you have to do. So that'd be good if I did that, but I haven't done that yet. So, there's always more to do, and that's kind of the philosophy that I've had with this so far, has been whenever I make something, and I'm like, okay, this is good, right? This is doing what I want it to do, or maybe it's not, and I have to fix that. But once I get something that works, I ask myself, what else? Because I think that there's always going to be room for improvement, obviously. Um, because it's not like I'm just going to make something perfect right out the gate. Unrealistic expectation, especially for me. But it's kind of like, this is nice. What I have so far is nice, but what else can I do? Like, how can I make it better? How can I make it more fleshed out? What other features could I add that would improve either the user experience or, the capacity for creativity within the game or whatever it is that I'm trying to make better for the user? How can I just keep developing this program? How can I push it towards the best version of itself? That's really what I'm trying to do with, I mean, I guess just my time in general. I'm trying to push myself towards the best version of myself, trying to push my programs towards the best version of my programs. Whatever it is, I want it to be as good as I can make it, right? I think that is a good goal to have. And if I'm ever getting tired of it, very easy as as we saw pretty clearly, and as you can probably tell by the dates on these, it's like 608, 1228. Which I should also point out, this level editor, the last, I don't know if it still is. I might have messed something up in it. So the last edit that I did on it was at the 31st, New Year's Eve, and I made this file on the 28th. It took me 4 days to go from no knowledge of grid bag, right? This entire thing is dependent on grid bag. Uh, I didn't even know what that was until I was like, okay, how do I do this? How do I make this? How can I make perfect, not the perfect, obviously, not the perfect, but how can I match my image, right? Like, I have this artistic vision, is what I've been calling it recently. And I want to try to match that with the software that I develop. And so that's what I've been doing. And I did it in about 4 days. So I'm pretty chuffed with myself. I will say a lot of that time was really just me sitting on the computer all day. Definitely not the best for my health. Um, but there are worse things that I could be doing. I'll let that settle. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still using this. This is still useful for me. That's really all I have to say about the game. So maybe I'll just play some random stages. Oh, I forgot that I had this open. Maybe I'll just play some random stages and talk about some things. As if this video is not long enough. Let's see. 53 minutes? Man, I've been yapping. Okay. But I don't know. I think therefore I am. Got some papers in front of me. Got my harmonica in front of me. Been trying to uh put that's not the right word. Been trying to arrange uh transcribe. Yeah, I think transcribe is the correct term. Think of It by KSI on the harmonica. It's actually quite difficult. I've made it through the chorus, but there's one spot at the very end where it's like, I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows, they know me where it snows. Ask Eden and they froze. I don't know nothing but no ice. I'm just cold. Like that entire part is I'm not gonna do that. Very simple melody, so it's pretty easy to transcribe. Mostly hovering around the five, the four, and the five. A lot of like five blow, four draw, five blow was kind of the pattern. And then, but then like for the last line, 40 something milli subs or so I've been told. I don't know how to do that like told. That interval just does not exist on the harmonica, I feel. Like it just I don't know. Maybe I'm just not skilled enough to play it or something. I was doing some wacky bending to get it, and like I think I got it to sound good once, and I'm honestly impressed with that, which isn't a good sign because I feel like it should be able to do it, but I'm just not. And it's very frustrating to feel like you can do something and then just not figure it out. So there we go. That's a win in the books. You can see no title for a random level. Maybe I'll make it so that it says like random or something, but I really don't see a need to do that. Let's play another one. So yeah, that's been my latest upsetment. Upsetment? Is there like a noun form for something that upsets you? Something that upsets an individual? My latest. I mean, I was about to say obsession, like obsession, but it's upset. I feel like I've said upset so many times, it's just losing its meaning. Why can't I do that? Wait, down, right. Oh, because it's three. I keep forgetting that you can hit it like a knight's move. You know how in chess a knight moves kind of like one down and two over is what I just did from here, like that. That like L pattern. I keep forgetting that that's something that you can do. Like, wait, let me see if I can do it here. Right, up, and then this will go right, up. It should be fine. Yeah, look at that. And I landed it right on the destination. I keep trying to do like crazy diagonal nonsense, and it's just not necessary. I feel like there are more box destinations than boxes on average. I could do the math. I don't really feel like doing it right now. Um, but like, I don't. That's not really an issue necessarily, but I mean, it's definitely just because they can spawn on the sides. Boxes cannot spawn on the sides because I feel like, well, they get stuck to the sides. As soon as a box is touching a border, it's not going to get off. There's like, if I do, like, all of these boxes on the bottom row are stuck on the bottom row, and these boxes on the wall stuck there. This one's stuck there. If I get in a corner like that, this box cannot move anymore. So, yeah, there's some practical considerations to be had with these boxes. Suppose you could say that sentence had no meaning. That's what I say. Let's try to move boxes in a way that is permissible. Okay, well, it's not the end of the world if I do that. I'm trying to figure out this one. I want to push that way, but in order to do that, I would have to push this one down. And I don't know if I can get it back, but you know what? You only live once. Boom. That's what I call plays. Anyway, that I cannot do. Here's what I cannot do either. That's what I was going to try to do, but I can't do it, so I'm not going to. Let's just put that one back because it's starting to worry me. Boom. That's what I call plays. Let's see what else we got. Yep, that's good. I'm just gonna push that to the bottom. Look at that. That's nice. Okay, if I could get this, I was pointing at my screen with my finger. That's not helpful. If I could get this box to one of these why don't I just get one of these boxes down there, and then I can move these down, and then I wouldn't have this much of a jam up here. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Thanks, me. Can I just can? I mean, I was pretty certain that I was able to. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it, but probably wouldn't have went for it if I didn't think I could. And I'm not even playing optimally right now. Actually, wait, how many boxes do we have left? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many destinations do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I guess because the board is bigger, the advantage of being able to spawn on the edges is less prominent. So destinations aren't going to generate that much more than boxes. But that does mean that I do have to use one of these edge ones. So I'm going to use actually as many as I can because it's very convenient just to throw a bunch of stuff onto the border. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Good stuff. I love the puzzle. I love inventing new puzzles. This is something that I mean, I talked about this in the last video that I made about this game. I made this based on Carrie KH video or live stream really that I watched the entirety of because I was bored. And yeah, I mean he did kind of like Sokoban and Sudoku. Su Sudoku? Yeah, I think that's it. Sudoku. Uh, the bachelor number. Where I don't even want to explain what he did because I honestly don't remember it that well. You can watch the video. I'll put like a link to it or something if I remember. Probably doesn't matter that much, but that's my inspiration. So, shout out of the day. This is exactly what I want to be doing at 2 a.m. It's not quite 2 a.m. But yeah, I'm recording now because I wanted to do it when people were not awake in my house. Because it's kind of awkward to be yapping to a computer and then having people be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I don't know, just one of those things to be self-conscious about, you know, as if there aren't enough of those. I don't know if I like that. I think that was a bad play. You know what? I see a lot of clumping. This is general rule is if you see stuff sort of clumped up, you want to move that out as soon as possible. And then another general rule is try to get stuff remote. So if you can move something, like if you have two destinations that you're thinking of putting it in, and one of them is like a lot closer to other stuff than another one, then in general you want to move it to the one that's like farther away. Like if you have an opportunity to just like bully something into a corner, that's generally going to be what you want to do. Don't take that as life advice. I guess I should disclaim. What am I doing here? Let's go see. Look, I'm putting that in the corner. If I wanted to, I could have put it here, But I feel like this is, again, like a more remote destination. It's further away from the other stuff. So it's going to cause fewer issues. There's going to be less of a chance of like colliding, is kind of the idea. I wonder. Okay, I'm going to do something funny just because I want to. I'm going to push this box onto this destination. So I see there's no limit to this, and then there's a two. But if I go one, two, three, that's eight. So that's fine. And I went two through the two. And the box is going to go one, two, three, and then it lands. Boom. See, that's the kind of fun thing that you can do in this game. And I just lost because I pushed that into a corner that I would never be able to get it out of. Except I might have been able to get. No, no. Because it was stuck on the wall and I had used all of the box destinations on the wall. I shouldn't have done that. Should have been paying more attention, but I am trying to talk while playing a game, which I don't think I'm very good at. Well, I mean, I'm not like bad at it, but I mean, I guess you can decide for yourself. Am I doing a good job of talking? Wait, what? Oh, that's interesting. I hit the numpad 4, which is also the right arrow, which I guess counted as VK dot right. Right arrow. I don't remember the name actually. Um, so that's great. That's lovely. I can't do what I wanted to do there, so I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't have done. That was a bad play, but it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Now we have 7 boxes, and we have like, what is this? 13 destinations. So, lucky numbers. I mean, usually 13 is considered an unlucky number, but I've heard lucky 13 more than I was expecting to in the past like 2 days. I can't do that? Oh, duh. So, there's that. Okay, I don't like how they're all over here and the destinations are like all up here. So maybe if I move some of these over to these, that'll make me happier. Which is what I was trying to do by moving that diagonally, but that clearly wasn't going to work. I'm just going to do that. I think that's a good play. And if I thought it was a bad play, I wouldn't have done it. So clearly, I thought it was a good play. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been kind of, I don't know, like stressed, very stressed, like all the time. I don't, honestly, it's kind of impressive that I put up with it sometimes. Like, I feel like, I just feel like it's not like a natural state, right? Like, the human body was not really designed for dealing with that constantly. But yeah, it's college applications. Yeah, fun, fun, fun. So I'm not sure if I have a future. Like I don't know if I'm gonna get in anywhere, which is like a absolutely crazy thing for me to say, right? Because look at my academic credentials. It should be like, wow, we want this student at our school, but like I don't feel wanted. I don't feel like I have that. And it's because I don't feel like I do anything with my time. Like I feel like I've wasted a lot of time in my life, and even though I kind of have an impressive record, like this last semester, I got an 100% in 100% or more in 4 classes. And to be fair, one of those was physical education, which you either have a teacher that always gives you like 95s or you have a teacher that always gives you 100. That's just how physical education is. Or you are actually not doing anything in the class and your teacher gives you like a, I don't know, like a B. Oh God, right? But um, yeah, that I did good is what I'm trying to say, and clearly not doing a very good job of saying. But yeah, and so that, it feels nice to look at that and be like, wow, I actually worked for this, right? Like physics C, sure, the curve is actually insane. Like, I mean, the curve is about as much as it would be on the AP test. So, like the smart kids in the classes aren't like, oh, I hope I get an A. It's like, oh, I hope I get above 100 on every test. I got, I think one test I got below 100. Let's see, does this work? Down, left, down, left. That should be fine. Down, left, down. Nice. Um, yeah. So thanks for the curve, I guess. But like, no, I don't even think I would have an A if it wasn't curved so heavily. But that's just again to reflect it's an AP class and it's that's doing a good job of reflecting the test because the test is notorious for being super short for like no reason. And then you get like 50% of the questions right, and that's a five. I don't like this box being here. I can't push it down. If I push it down, it's game over. So I have to push it all up. If I push it all up, where am I gonna put it? Like I could move it, could go like all the way over here, put it in one of these corners. Actually, maybe if I move these guys up to the corner and then I try to move these guys over. This is kind of an interesting like barrier that's developed. And then linear algebra, I got probably the most scuffed 100 that you could get in a college course because it's dual credit. So it basically means it's a college course, but you're taking it at the high school. Um, and so what that means for me is that I got 100% in a college course. Isn't that awesome? But it's linear algebra. My brother is looking at my notes, and he's learning what I learned in a semester in basically 2 weeks of winter break. So there's linear algebra recap. I mean, obviously, he's not going to get like as invested or whatever in it as I did, but honestly, I feel like you can pretty easily learn it because there's a joke among the people of the class that like it's just doing the same thing but with different words. Is like how many different ways can a mathematician think up to represent just the exact same thing? Like it's just row reduction. 90% of what you do in that class is row reduction, the other 10% is determinants, and that's all you have to know to be able to do linear algebra. And I got 100% of the class. But yeah, like I said, it's the most scuffed 100% because it's like, so the teacher made up the quizzes basically. So part of the college, or not part of the college course, is the quizzes. Um, and so because she was basically just the one who came up with the problems and like made the quizzes, she also made the rules on how the quizzes were going to be graded, and part of that was the retake, or not the retake, but like the grade replacement policy, I guess, which was if you do better on the test, the unit test replaces the like half unit quizzes. How am I going to move this? Put it there, and then do something like that's nasty. Or I could put it here. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So that's a lot more open. And it doesn't go onto this one. If I could do that, would be a dream. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. I think I can do it. Okay. So basically, every quiz that I took, is that even helpful? Did I just do something that's not helpful? I think I might have just done something that's... No, 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 no. I got this. That was a good one for me. I felt proud of myself after doing that. But pretty much... Oh, it's nasty. Pretty much every quiz that I took, I think every quiz I took, I got like a 93 or like a 98 or, you know, like A's because I'm him, but like not him. But then all the tests, I don't know why I did that. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's not really a problem. All the tests I took, I got hundreds, which replaced the quizzes. So even though I didn't get hundreds on the quizzes, it doesn't matter because they got replaced. And then on the and then this was the college's policy was that the final replaces one exam or one unit exam is replaced by the final. So it's kind of like a drop the lowest sort of a thing. But instead of just dropping it, it's replaced by whatever grade you got in the final. Grade I got in the final, 100%. The lowest test that I got, so I got one test that I didn't get 100% on, was the eigenvectors test, because I said that a diagonalizable matrix will also be invertible, um, which is not true. There are invertible matrices that are not diagonalizable. There are diagonalizable matrices that are not invertible. There are ones that are both, and there are ones that are neither. If you know, if you know, you know. You don't have to know what I'm talking about to know that I got that question wrong on the test. Just whatever the answer was not the one that I said. Um, but who cares? Because I got it replaced. I got it replaced with an 100%, and I have 100% linear algebra. And that's, the semester's over. It's done. And so, yeah, so that's two of the uh, classes that I got hundreds in. Wait, no, 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 we're fine. Tweet. Wait, wait. No, we're not fine. No, this is impossible. How did this happen? Who did this? Okay, so this tile, this guy can only move up as its first move. It has to either move up or down. But if I move it up or down, well, I can't move it down. Well, okay, I can move it down first. But in order to do that, I would have to start here and then move down and then move down, but it would move twice into the wall and then it would be invalid. If I start from below, I can only move up once and it'll go on the wall and be invalid. And I can't move it to the sides at all initially because it's got through walls on both sides. So okay, I'll just try to beat the stage other than this because this is not possible. In this configuration, it is not possible to win the stage. That's annoying. Yeah, I tried to make it less impossible, but it's not perfect. It's still using just basic randomness. So yeah, this guy, like if I try to approach it from the top, that's invalid. If I try to approach it from the bottom, that's invalid. If I overshoot and then undershoot, like it's... Wait, wait. No, because I can't move up. And then the displacement is wrong. Because the displacement in standard is always going to be the same. Okay. It always has the same displacement as... So the player to the box and the box to wherever it lands that's always going to be the same displacement. It's going to take the same path. And any invalidness is going to cancel everything. So I can't think of a way, because like, if I could just displace it diagonally by going down first, but I can't go down here, and it can't go right first. I really wish that this wasn't impossible, but I'm pretty sure it is. Up, right, down, down, up, right. Eh. I can't like hook around. And I could do like a Buddhist palm into it, but it's still just gonna hit the... That's annoying. Okay, but yeah. So pretty much every quiz was getting replaced. The one quiz I got an 100 on was the test that I didn't get an 100 on, was the final that replaced it. So there's 100 in the linear algebra. But, we don't have to talk about how we got there. We can just talk about the result, because the result's more impressive. Put that on the quote wall. Anyway, um, might have to cut it up a little bit, put on the quote wall, but it's fine. No, do not do that. Do not do. That's bad. I almost did something malicious. Not malicious, but something that would lose the game instantly if I did it. Let's see. So yeah, there's the scuffed. So what, I've talked about physics, talked about PE, I've talked about linear algebra. Now I'll talk about perhaps my biggest win, my proudest 100, I would say. Actually above 100. Actually, this level's not possible. What is this? Like, who did that? Who made... I mean, okay, it's me and randomness together made this, like, C-shaped thing. C-shaped wall. Impassable wall. And a box here and a box here that I don't think I can move in such a way that I can actually get it out. No, I can move this box. No, because that has a 1 limit. Okay, I can move this box, but I think the best I can do is just get it stuck on this top wall, which has no destination. That's actually ridiculously unlucky. Because if there was a destination up here, then I'd be able to move this box out. If this wasn't 1, I'd be able to move this box out. But now I can't do either of those things. And actually, no, never mind. It is tragic. But yeah, Spanish class, the 100% that I'm most proud of. I'm just gonna beat the level without getting those once again. I really thought that there would be like a lot fewer, like just completely impossible games with the safeguards that I put in place, but apparently not. I mean, it hasn't been that bad, but like kind of miffed about it. So that's the best I can do, I think. Should wait. No, I can't do that. Wait, but I could do it to that one. So here's the idea. Right, down, left. Right, down, left. Cannot do that because that's a 2 through. Well, okay, I'm landing on a 5, so I can do at most 5. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. Wow, that is actually terrible luck. Let's just restart then, or regenerate. But yeah, so the teacher usually does like revisions for our multiple choice tests. So when we do multiple choice tests, it's usually like the next day he'll bring them back, or not the next day. It's usually like a week actually. Just gives us time to, not be thinking about them, which is probably for the better. And then he says like, um, well, and then he gives us the opportunity to revise them. Is essentially the idea. So, we get the test back. He marks which ones we got wrong, and he's like, you know, think about why you got them wrong. And so that's what we would usually do with our multiple choice tests. But one test, we didn't really have time to do that. Like, it wouldn't, I think it was like over Thanksgiving break or something. And it wouldn't have made sense for him to like drag us back in on Monday and be like, here's the test that you took like a week ago. Revise it now. Like, that's no. And we were done with the unit and stuff, so it was just time to move on. So we didn't revise. He instead just gave us a flat curve of 3 points. So each person got whatever out of 17, and it was however many they got right plus three. Just, three free points. And I'm not gonna do that because that would be bad. Three free points. And you wanna know what I got on that? I got a 20 out of 17. So that means that I not only got everything right, but I also got bumped up 3 extra points. So I feel pretty good about that. I feel like the multiple choice, like the AP style, because AP Spanish, why did I do that? AP Spanish, so it's like AP style multiple choice. I feel like I'm kind of, that's probably going to be what saves my AP score. If I get a 5, that's probably going to be why. I don't want to say that, like, oh, I'm totally going to get a 5, but like, all of my brothers got a 5 on the test. So hopefully I can also do that. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I got a 4 on the Japanese AP test. I feel kind of bad about that. But it's the stupid cultural comparison. Anyway, I could get mad about that, but really it's just because I don't have the cultural knowledge. Like, I've been learning the language, but not really interacting with the culture. And so it makes it difficult to talk about, like, it's a cultural presentation. What can I really do if I don't know anything? So anyway, I got a 20 out of 17, and everything else that I had in that class, like at most like half a point off here, or like a couple of points off on coursework assignment. And so our school is kind of weird. They do coursework is 10% of the grade. And so ultimately, like, if I didn't do any of my coursework, I think I still would have had an A, or maybe if it was actually just like 0 on all of them. Because there is a difference between not trying at all, like putting in 0 effort, and actually just doing nothing. It's surprising how many points you can get with doing 0 effort. Um, just because, like, if it's like, oh, turn in the assignment to get the points, then like you don't necessarily have to try. And of course, I like trying on, I mean, I don't like trying, especially if it's a dumb subject like English, but you know, I, most of my classes I'm taking for a reason, and I might as well try on the work because, why even bother taking the class if I'm not going to try? That's kind of my idea. And so, well, it's not my idea, but that's my philosophy that I take, I guess. And so, oh my God, I'm boxed out right now. Great. But yeah, I could put zero effort into it and I'd be fine. I would be a-okay. I would have just, done all the summatives, got a good grade, presumably, and then I would be happy. I'd be happy with myself because that's the only thing that gives me joy is other people defining what success means for me. That's what I like. Yeah, and that's why I like college admissions too. It's like a college admissions counselor looks at my terrible writing. I'm not a writer. I'm not applying to be a writer. Why do I have to write so much? And it's like, it's like, oh, the passion or whatever should show. I'm not good at writing. Like, I don't even know, man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I feel like my future is being diminished at best because I'm not good at writing. And I mean, I keep saying, like, oh, I'm not good at, as if it's like some sort of intransigent characteristic, is like, I'm just never going to be good at it, which is obviously not true. Like, if I wanted to be good at it, I could, but I don't. That's the thing. I want to be good at computer science. I want to be able to, like, make games easily. Like, the level editor took me 4 days to make. If I was, you know, a lick better, could have taken me 3 days to make it. Or, I mean, I guess if I was just doing more work. But I was, you know what? I was doing pretty consistent, hard coding labor. Can I do that? I can. So, I can't be too mad at myself for the work ethic on this one, because I was actually pretty good. But if I just, like, you know, had computer science knowledge, like if I was like, MIT genius or something, then I would be so much faster. I'd be able to do what I like doing and get the results. Because obviously, doing the programming and going through the effort of programming is a lot of fun in itself. But like, results are good too. And like people say, like, oh, don't get caught up in the destination. You got destination fever. That's the Avatar, to the Last Airbender, the hippie guys. They say that, and it's like, yeah, I mean, and I enjoy the process of like programming and encountering bugs, bug fixing, and making sort of refining the gem, right, is fun. But so is playing the game. Like, I wouldn't be doing this right now if I wasn't having fun playing this. And really, what I want is not to expedite the process necessarily of just getting the result, but to be able to do more. Like, I just want to be able to do more programming. I want to be able to do, make better projects, better looking projects, bigger projects faster and like a more reasonable time frame. I want to actually like finish a proper game because this is I guess a proper game. It's got gameplay, clearly. Otherwise, I wouldn't be playing it. But like, like I have so many projects on Unity that I'm just never gonna make. Like I'm never gonna finish, or I feel like I'm never gonna finish at least. And it's like I just want to be able to sit down and like just do it. I want to have that knowledge, that base foundation, computer science, and some of my games rely on physics, so I also want to learn about that. And I mean, physics is also just fun. I've completely stopped playing the game at this point. If you ever, what is this, like an hour, 2 hours probably? Let's see, hour and 35 minutes. Okay, but yeah, like I want to do physics. I want to do calculus. Linear algebra is fun. Math is fun. Learning more math and doing like linear algebra is cool because it's a lot of like proofs. Like I feel like you don't do a lot of that in previous classes. Like I mean, calculus there's like a little bit, but I feel like it's a lot more fun to just do like you know take what you know, and then they say like, oh, prove this weird. I guess it would be a theorem, and then you have to kind of go about saying like, oh well, this can be said, if it's like if it's diagonalizable, then you can do this and you can do that, and then that means it's got whatever as its eigenvalues or whatever you're trying to prove, right? That's cool, and I want to learn how to do that more and better, like real analysis or something. They say it's like the math class that like causes so many people to leave becoming a math major, which I feel like if you're becoming a math major, you probably should have seen that coming, but I don't know. I I guess I can't blame people for thinking that math major would just be like do more math classes and maybe the skills that they teach in high school with respect to math class aren't really applicable to college level math courses, but I feel like I would love to do something like that. But I don't even know if I'll have the opportunity to because I don't know if I'm even gonna get into college. And this is, Mr. 5 APs and 2 years in a row, actually, 5 APs, because I got switched into macroeconomics for my second semester. I was originally going to take another strength training, but I talked with the PE guy, I talked to my counselor. I'm like, some of the colleges that I want to apply to are going to require me to take another social science. So can I do that instead of PE? I don't want to wreck my schedule because I have a lot of good classes lined up, a lot of good teachers, teachers that I know from last year. Hopefully, I can get like the English class I'm taking should get me out of some in college because I don't want to do English in college. Because if there's only something worse than English in high school, it's gonna be English in college, right? I just don't like English. I don't. Clearly, right? You're listening to me talk. You can probably tell that I'm not very good at English. Ah, if only I was joking. But what is going on with this? Why are there so many through walls? I feel like there shouldn't be this many. But I guess that's just the way the randomness crumbles sometimes. How am I gonna how am I gonna win? You know what? That's the mindset that I want to take to this. Not like, oh, am I gonna be able to win? How am I gonna win? It's very Ken. Watching a lot of Ken videos. Ken Clash with Ken. Shout out. Um but yeah, he's very entertaining. But yeah, back to what I was waffling about. So, do I have a future? Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. in March. That's when we're gonna get most of the acceptance, hopefully acceptance from a lot of schools, maybe rejection from all of the schools. I don't know yet. We'll find out. This is just the lovely life that I live. It's like, and it feels like it's just such a waste. It's like, why did I even bother doing like anything in school? And like, I'm kind of bragging about my hundreds, but it's like, what does it even matter if colleges are just gonna look at the essays and be like, oh, your essays are shit. And it's like, I'm not my essays. Like, figuring out every way to sigh, every single possible sigh. We'll get there eventually. Ooh, ass. This is good commentary. Anyway, nope. There we go. Are there? No, there are more boxes than destinations by one. That's tight. But again, how are we gonna win this? Oh, okay. So this box has one maximum, which means that I can't do any funky diagonal stuff. I can only move into it directly. If I'm here and I move into it, it goes to a wall. If I'm here, move into it, it goes into a wall. I can't be here, I can't be here. So I cannot move this box. Great. So that means that I have to figure out a way to win without bothering this box, because this box is not gonna move. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this the way that I'm hoping to. Oh yeah. Okay, not quite the way I was hoping to. Okay, but I'm gonna have to get it. Well, I mean, I can do that, and then I can do this. And then what? I said I would have to fill out my destinations, or do we have more destinations than boxes? I don't even remember anymore. We definitely have more destinations. No, we have more boxes than this. Wow. I don't know. It just looks like we have more destinations than boxes. But I have no idea what I'm going to do about this. Because, okay, I have to move this out. But I literally don't think I can. Well, okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay. This is not looking good. But yeah, so my future is also not looking good. It's probably going to end quite like this game of Sokoban no Shinobi. Ugly and dim. Can I even do anything? General question, not related to the game, no, but it also is related to the game. I'm actually okay. Wait, I'm just gonna imagine a perfect world where none of these boxes are here. This game's getting too real, man. I have to stop, but no, I can't stop because I'm addicted to my own game. Look at this, taking my own product. That's how you know I'm a good chef. You want the chef that licks the spoon. Oh, because that means that they had good food. That's what that means, and it's not poisoned. Additionally, if that's a concern, it's not anymore. So let's see. How would I move this? Okay, I would just push this up, like diagonally would be my best bet. So if I can move that diagonally, that would be ideal. So then I would have to get rid of this box here. So how would I get this box out of there? And I'm spending all this energy doing something that I know isn't even going to end up working because I don't think I can move this box anywhere. Um, so that's fun. But like I don't know, using my energy on things that it's getting too real. Anyway, okay, if I can move this diagonally, that'd be ideal. And I would have to move it diagonally up. Now, okay, I could maybe if I get rid of this box and this box, I could move it like up, just straight up. What does that do for me? Then I could move it that way, and then I could move it down. So, okay, if I can do that, that's ideal. Okay, well, that way and down sounds like a plan anyway. So that's good. So now that's over there. I'm just gonna leave that over there. Where am I? Yeah, yep. That's fine. No, I want to move this up. Can't move that up. Because this guy's here. So if I can move this guy down. So if I'm here and I go down, I can't go down immediately. If I'm here and I go over, down, over, 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 down, over, over, that's four, so that's too far. Um, so that's not gonna work. That's just not gonna work in general. So then if I can get, no, I can't get it from the side. I would have to like go all the way around, but then that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. That would just land here, which is a problem anyway. This is quite the predicament. I don't know if I can do this one actually. I'm thinking, okay, if I can move this, but then I can't even move this diagonally because it would go down. But then I can move this. No, I can't. Nope. Damn. Damn. I think the best thing that I can do right now is just move this guy back down. So wait, I could literally just move this guy up. I don't even have to move him over. I can't even move him up. That's terrible. Wait. No, because this is a through one. Although I could do a knight's no, because this is two, so I can do it at most diagonal or double. But I don't think that yeah, the doubles don't help. Like you can make a sort of like star shape, not really star shape, more of a 45-degree rotated square shape of tiles that you can come at it from. But in order for this one to work, I would have to have this open. For this one to work, this would have to be open. For this one to work, this would have to be open. For this one to work, that, this, that. If I can get this out of the way, but then this, if I move it this way, that has to be the first move. Or I can move it up first. But if I move it up first, then I probably end up having to land here, and that will go through one anyway, so I can't. Even if I can move this guy out of the way. That's rather upsetting. Here, let me just try. If I move this guy out of the way, what opportunities does that grant? Not very many by the looks of it. I could do a knight's move into this, but then that would just push it into the corner where I can't get it out. So that doesn't seem like a very good play. Now, if I hadn't moved this box here, maybe I would have been able to do that. But I don't even know how many moves ago I did this. So that would have been like a magnum brain. Magnum brain? That doesn't even make sense. Play. But I clearly have not made it. I think it's just over. I think it's just over. I mean, I could move this guy in, but really, I don't think it's worth bothering at this point. What am I doing, actually? That was silly. Okay. Does that open anything up though? Is the question. The answer is no, 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 no. Except, I mean, obviously that guy's there now, and then I could move this guy down and this guy over, but then that still leaves this in this very unfortunate generation here. Can't even start by moving it up. I could try to do something funky like up, over, down, but no, I can only go four, which if we draw, I mean, I guess that is a valid start, but I'd have to go straight into it, which isn't allowed. One, two, three, four, but then yeah, I would just jump into that. If I go one, two, then all of a sudden I can't even make it back down. If I started lower, it's not helpful. Uh, yeah, that's my reaction to an unwinnable game. Is yuck. Okay, this looks like it'll be a lot more winnable. Um, Not a huge fan of this giant clump, but here, wait, let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got two extra boxes to deal with, to work with. It's a good thing. Deal with makes it sound like a bad thing. I know connotation. I took RET, AP, language and composition, which for some reason I keep calling AP rhetoric, which isn't a thing, but that should be what the class is called because like that's literally the only thing I remember from that class is just the rhetorical stuff, which maybe means that I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been, but again, it's classes you choose to take versus classes that you're forced to take. So I'm not going to make it. Can I do that? No, it's going to land on a through two. Through two. Can do that though. Oh. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I think that's actually kind of like an interesting thing at the very least. It's interesting. I don't know if I would necessarily be like, oh, this should be taught. You know, this is a very essential skill. I feel like it's not. It's just my opinion. Um, but I'm not like mad that I took the class or anything. But I am mad about this board configuration. Yikes. One bad thing about having extra boxes. Well, I guess there are two bad things. One is that they take up a bunch of extra space, and two is that you have to get every destination the box. So that's annoying. But yeah, so I don't know. I think probably talked about college admissions enough. School, yeah, starting back up soon, so that'll be fun. Really shouldn't be staying up until 2 a.m. like 2 days, not even 2 days anymore. It's Sunday. School starts on Monday. Although my parents were saying that it. Okay, so my parents were saying that it might not start on Monday, which is so typically school doesn't start on break days or on the Monday after break. Usually we get a little bit more break and then it starts. But also, why wouldn't it start? Is what I'm wondering. Is like, what's preventing it from starting? Is there some sort of problem? But then at the same time, it's like, I don't even know. I'm just very confused right now. I think I'm at a very confusing point in my life. Um, My mom is insisting that I have Monday off. I hope she's right, but I have no idea where I would even start to check. Actually, no. You know what? I do know where I would start to check that, and I'm going to start to check that. I hope my English essay is put in the gradebook soon so I can stop worrying about that. It is not. But yeah, and the worst part is I have a 96, okay, 95 on 57 in English. Why am I worrying about English? It is dumb. Okay, yeah, no, my mom is correct. Apparently it does start on the 7th. So that's nice. It's a good thing to know. I got that nice 9:30 a.m. lunch period. That'll be so much fun. And then one of the best times in my day is gone now because my schedule is so jank because I'm taking a lot of like weird sort of like back alley kind of classes. I'm having uh third period lunch study and the school day is eight, I can count, 8 periods long. Typically, they do like 4 and 5 are the lunch study periods. But I'm in, because those are like at least notionally close to noon. But I am not in, I'm in a class both of those periods that's only being offered during both of those periods. Like the first, the class I'm in, fourth period, only offered fourth period, at least with the teacher that I requested that I have. Um, I don't want to talk about that too much, but I mean, because I feel kind of bad about that. You know what? I'll talk about it. My English teacher last year, she's a fine teacher, but I don't know. I just kind of felt like I don't know. I felt very like called out almost in that class. Like I was very uneasy, even though she liked my work. I think I got an A+ in English. It's like, how do you get an A+ in English? Like that's not even a thing that happens. And apparently it happened to me. Happened to me like I didn't do the work, but um yeah, like that's just that this is how the story goes, in the words of KSI. But it's yeah, like I don't know, I just felt off. Something it's hard to describe, especially since my brain wants me to sleep, but I want to keep talking because it feels good to say things that I've been thinking about. That transition between the thought and the word of mouth is satisfying to me. But yeah, like I don't know, it just didn't feel right. And I think part of it was like the way that she sort of ran her class made me feel a little bit off. And like, during discussions, and I guess the people of the class too, like just my classmates. I didn't really have any friends in the class, so it was kind of like that was awkward. And I mean, like, I made like one friend, but I don't, it's third period, it's still morning, and I don't feel like talking, and we have to do a discussion, and I don't know anybody, and I'm not like an extrovert. My preference is strongly towards not talking. If I can avoid it, I generally do not want to talk. And that is why I'm talking so much right now, is because this is everything that I've wanted to say, but I've been like, about saying for the past, like, I would say 2 weeks. That's not true. I wish it was true. I wish it was just the 2 weeks of break where I've been thinking about my final round of college application essays that I have to write. Again, I'm bad at writing essays apparently. And although I got an A plus in English, so clearly I'm good at writing essays. But my point is that it's not helping me. My everything that I've done academically is not helping, and that's not a good feeling. To think that what am I gonna do here? Actually, wait. That's another pro tip. If you can avoid putting something in the corner, like unless you have a good reason to put something in the corner, don't. Or not just in the corner, but like on the side in general. If it is at all avoidable, I would generally recommend avoiding it. But I mean, if it's a good play, then do it, obviously. That's as with anything. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel good being in her class. And I figure like, if I can just and I think at the beginning of the year too, I was like kind of not off to a great start. And I think it got better throughout the year, but at the point when I was applying for, or not applying for my classes, applying for everything. God, that would suck. But I feel bad for band people. They have like auditions for their classes, which I mean, I guess it's not that bad because you actually like you're doing something that is actually relevant. I swear that's not what I did. Okay, that is what I did. Um, yeah, like they're doing something that's actually relevant to the class, not like writing an essay that like doesn't have anything to do with if you can't tell, salty for life. My grandmother was talking about her college admissions process, which was said you just show up and take the classes, and if you can't keep up with the work, you drop out. That if I could do that, I would I would do that. That would be so good for me cuz I would just go and absolutely wreck house, put me in any college in a field that like I actually care about, and you're not gonna believe what you see. You're gonna be amazed. But put me in no college, or just like some random college that I like didn't really want to go to, and that's what's gonna happen with if foreshadowing. No, foreshadowing. What am I even talking about? If you just put me in like I don't know, random college that I applied to, the only one that accepts me, if even, right? Like if I even make it into a college, and you just say like, oh, yeah, great work, do do work, do stuff, then it's like maybe I'm not gonna be realizing that potential, right? It's like if I can just, get like the hardest courses that are building on things that I already know. Obviously, I'm not gonna take like, Calc 8 and know what I'm doing. Calc 8 isn't real, but I haven't taken Calc 3 yet, right? Or I'm not gonna take like advanced theoretical string theory physics or theoretical string theory. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not wrong, but because like I don't even know, I don't even know what electricity is. That's next semester. How am I supposed to know what strings are? Actually, wait, string is just it's a sequence of characters. Use it double quotes. That's how you initialize string usually. Or I guess that's no, that's how you initialize it. Declaring it, you just write string, whatever the name of your variable is, and then that's all you have to do to declare it. And then to initialize it, you have to do equals, and then usually you do something with quotes. Or, I mean, depending on what you're doing, obviously, you might do something else, but fun Java facts. I guess I do know a little bit about string, but that's probably not the same string that the theory's about. Although I don't know. Again, I don't know this. Like if this was something that I could, and I feel like I could be taught it and I could learn it and I would wreck house. But I have to get there first. I feel like getting there is gonna not be possible for me because my potential is gonna be constricted by whatever colleges accept me, and if the ones that accept me are like lower ranked or whatever. I mean, not that ranking is really that important ultimately, especially for computer science. It's like I think most colleges do a good enough job that you'll know how to do it, right? I think it's not super college dependent, and obviously like if you go to MIT, that's gonna look a lot better on like jobs and such for job applications, and you'll probably get a better education. But I don't think it's like a huge deal, especially in computer science. But like, God, I just feel like it's kind of closing in. It's closing in on me. I don't I don't know where I'm gonna go from here. I guess is really it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the future, and I put my heart into my work, and in some cases that includes my classwork. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm thinking about my linear algebra. I definitely put my heart into that. I enjoyed linear algebra very much. I enjoyed calculus, took that last year very much. Hopefully, calculus 3 is just as much fun, if not more, because we're going to be learning about more stuff. Hopefully, it's more fun. And, like, physics, I'm doing E&M, which is going to be new stuff. The first chapter, not the chapter, mechanics, physics C is basically just physics 1 again, but you're also learning calculus, but I already learned calculus, so it's not that hard. But I feel like E&M is going to whoop me, but I think it'll be like a fun sort of getting whooped, you know? Like it'll be like I feel like I'm going to be challenged. I'm going to be learning and I'm going to be doing something that I actually want to do. And that is what I want. I want to learn, and I want to learn what I want to learn. And I don't know, and my ability to learn depends on the ability of people to teach me. Partially that is down to me. If I can teach myself, or if I can like develop good study habits, which I definitely don't have, despite my hundreds. I do not have good stuff, or maybe despite my study habits, which are bad, I have hundreds, which maybe isn't a good sign. But I mean, okay, they're not that bad. Like if I know when I need to study, but it's very very infrequent. I feel like, well, okay, because I feel like I learn best by just doing. I'm more of like a doer. And so when I have like calculus, right, I just want to do it. Like, give me, well, okay, don't give me more practice problems than I need, but if you give me like 100 practice problems, then I'm not going to have to study for a minute because I'll just have done it so many times that I know what to do. Or like linear algebra, we had so much book work and like homework that was online, which the online homework sucked to do. I don't know what it is about doing homework on a computer, but I just cannot focus. Like, if I can't get the answer in under a minute, then I'm gonna forget what the question was. Like, I don't know what's wrong with my brain, honestly. That's just what it feels like. It feels like a mental condition or something. But like everybody in the class also agreed with me when I expressed that. It's nice to be validated like that. And I'm honestly surprised that like literally everyone, okay, I don't know about literally everyone, but figuratively everyone at least, hyperbolically everyone was like, yeah, yeah, I also have a hard time focusing doing the Alberts, and that's what's the digital. It's called Albert IO. It's like, oh, I can't focus on it, and if it takes me too long, I just guess and move on. And it's like, to think the AP tests are gonna be like that, it's gonna be nasty, nasty, nasty. But I think that there's something in store for me at least for a little bit longer, but as soon as those rejection letters start coming in, I'm probably going to be in more and more despair until, well, honestly, no. The worst part is waiting. I feel like knowing that you're in is like, yeah, woohoo, I'm in. I can go to this college or whatever. And then and then knowing you're not in, knowing you've been rejected is like, oh, I guess I can't go there. But waiting to find out if you're in or rejected is like, ugh. Like I just want to know because then I can at least think about my future and I can think that I might have one, right? Like I can sort of imagine where I might be in the future if I know at least a school that I've gotten into. But not knowing and being in a competitive field, computer science, and just having to hope that my essays were good, which I know they weren't because I wrote them and I looked at them and I can read, and when I read them, they don't look good. Um, yeah, and I mean, just knowing that is pain. It's painful because, like, I want to have hope for the future and knowing, not knowing, because obviously I don't know. That's the whole problem is that I don't know. But feeling so sure that I'm going to be rejected from like so many colleges and then not knowing and not being able to be like, either yes, I am or no, I'm not. Like either I'm in or I'm not, right? But the time between when I don't know is like, what am I doing? Where am I going? I don't know. That's the problem. That's really what it all boils down to, isn't it? Fear of the unknown, I think, is probably one of the greatest motivators of humankind. And I mean, part of the reason that I worked so hard on this was because I was thinking, like, maybe if some college admissions person could see this and look at it and be like, oh, that's a cool puzzle game, nice. And maybe they download the files and follow the little README thing that I made and they play it and they're like, oh, that was fun. maybe, just maybe, I'll actually be able to, you know, show them something that I'm actually passionate about. Because I'm not passionate about essays. Like, I, I could not care less about essays. And actually, you know what? I could care less because essays negatively affect me. They're bad for my health. And it's like, I just wish I didn't have to write them, right? But, at the end of the day, what's written is written. Hopefully, like, hopefully the passion shows through in my projects more than it would ever show through in an essay. And that's really all that I can hope for is that it shows through in this and that somehow I can make them look at this. I don't know how I would even go about that. Kind of tempted to just like put in my like essay or in my like Common App info or whatever to just drop a quick link to my YouTube channel or something. But yeah, I don't feel too good. It is approaching the hour of 3 a.m. It's 2:36 currently, local time. I think I might take a sleep. I'd have myself asleep because it is that time of day for sleeping. I think I've been kind of babbling a little bit. I'm noticing just how little the words I'm saying are meaning. Um, I really do kind of just want to keep talking. I mean, again, yeah, it feels good to just be able to say things and like whenever I have something on my mind, I can just speak it, right? But I don't feel too good. I might start crying soon, honestly. That's how I feel right now. Good night. If you're not watching this at night, good morning or afternoon. Um, or evening, I suppose, if you're not going to bed, but it is nighttime, then good evening would be the correct greeting, even if it's not technically evening, because typically evening is that. Um, it's like a little bit before night, and then there's night. It's kind of like afternoon, and then when it's like a little dark, it's a little bit too dark to be calling afternoon still, you call it evening. But then when it's like full on, like the moon and stuff, sun's gone, then that's night. So yeah, I guess good whatever time of day you're having. Um, have a nice day. Have a nice 4 months or however long it takes for me to make another video. I'm probably going to keep working on this if I have time. Again, school's going to start soon, but if I have time, I'll work on stuff. Monday's off, so maybe I'll make every feature that I was planning on Monday. Who knows? Who knows what the future has in store? But I'm actually maybe happy about it because it's not too far in the future where I feel like I'm destined for failure. All right, well, that's not a very exciting way to end the video, is it?